guys. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about how to make a alebrije and going over the tape sculpture process. For this, I am going to be using blue tape. However, I've included in my sculpture kit some plain tan masking tape. You want it to have a papery texture, so you don't want duct tape. You don't want packing tape that's clear and shiny. You want it to have that texture, that paper on the outside. You are also going to need a stack of normal printer paper for this step, and you are going to need your thumbnails. And so I'm starting with my drawing, and the thinking I'm having is I have to choose which one I'm going to make, and I want it to have some weight at the bottom so it can stand up just fine. All right, and so I am going to be going with this armadillo here. It has a lot of weight at the bottom. It's sitting down. It has a big fluffy foxtail, and so I've included that, and it has a little bit of weight up at top. The ears aren't too big, so it shouldn't drag it down. And so with your thumbnail, with the pose of your alebrije, remember that if it doesn't have a lot of support, like our friend here, he has two stubby little legs up here, and then a very, very thin tail, and just this circle here to support all of this weight. And so you can see when we try to stand him up, he falls over. However, with this alebrije here, he has his head for support, so he has a big, massive ball, along with his feet and his arms to really make sure that when I put him down, he stays standing. He stays in the pose that he's supposed to do. He's not afraid to wiggle around. He will stay still. That's what you want for your alebrije. So I want to keep that in mind when I'm posing or thinking of my poses for my alebrije here. So when you decide your alebrije, I've decided my armadillo fox over here, you need to start breaking it up into different kind of shapes. For me, I'm going to draw on the side here to help you out. I know I'm going to need a ball. I know I'm going to need what I call a bean. And I know I'm going to need another bigger bean for the tail. So I know I'm going to need these three forms or 3D shapes in order to make this guy happen. These are my three biggest shapes I need to focus on. And then I can focus on the little guys or the little beans, which will be the feet, the arms for my character, and the snout, which really will look like more of a ice cream cone than a animal snout at this point. And it's gonna look really funky right now. Don't worry about that. All right, so I know I need a sphere, two beans, one a little bit bigger than the other one, and some little beans here. And so I'm probably gonna mute this next part, but you're gonna take some paper and crumple it up until it's about the size of where you want it to be. So you not only need a sphere, but you need to think how big is the head compared to everything else. All right, this is about the size I want. So next, before this unravels, you're gonna need to take pieces of tape and wrap it around. And so you can already see it here, it's starting to unravel on me. So you need to hold it to the shape you want. There we go. And then wrap it tightly around. And then you wanna angle it differently. So I see that it's going this way, I'm gonna pull it this way now. Over the top. And you're just gonna be crisscrossing over all your different shapes, and you're just making sure that your nice little ball that you just made isn't coming apart. You're gonna go through a lot of tape this project. That's normal. That's why I gave you a whole entire roll. All right, check that out. So here we go. Here's my head. Yay! Okay, we made a head. Next is the body. Here we go. I'm going to be comparing these two a lot, saying, okay, the head is just still a little bit, it's too big for the body, so I need to build him up. He should be about the size of a Chipotle burrito by the time you're done. I don't know if you guys Chipotle, but it's number 30. We're getting closer. I think this is going to be the nose. There we go. That's a little closer to what I want. Gonna need to do one more wrap around here. Now comes the fun part. We get to tape it all together now. Okay. So again, remember to sit down, take it off. There we go. Check that out. So I have a big bean and a little bean. And we can start seeing that come together as our animal, okay? And last but not least, my very last form that I wanted to work on. So I have the head and I have the medium bean. I need that big fat tail. That's gonna be my biggest bean of all. It's gonna take me the most paper. So wish me luck. I'm gonna start with two little balls and build these both up before I join them together. I think that'll give me the most length. Not bad. Here. Now, I have this sort of, you can honestly just sort of massage it into the thickness that you want. There we go. There we are. And then from there, here we go. Start incorporating it with your other pieces. For me, I know I wanted the tail to wrap around quite a bit. And then have the head pop on top. Okie dokies. From here, you guessed it, you will need a couple pieces of tape. Just rip them off, keep them to the side here. Now, wrestling your project and using brute force. So there's no cheat to this. You just got to use brute force to connect one piece to another. So we are taking tape, and I am pressing down very firmly to make sure my head doesn't go anywhere. Here we go. And I'm just making connector stripes here. Here we go. Smoothing those down. Oh, he's looking so cute already. Little beanie. Little beanie. And you want to go all around to make sure they're as secure in the moment as they can possibly be. It will get more secure. I promise it will. You don't believe me yet. It'll get more secure. This is where it starts to get tempting to start playing with it as a toy. But it is fragile. There we go. There we are. You got the head. Woohoo! Little beanie. Next, gotta get that tail on. That tail curled around. I want that tip of the fox's tail right there. I think that would look really cool. That'll look really awesome. Okay. So, and again, here we go. There's no better way to do this than to just lay out some strips. They don't have to be super long. Just short. That's fine. Whoops. Sorry, buddy. I don't have a name for this dude yet. That's okay. All right, looking for some connecting areas, and we bring it around town. It's looking more snaky right now, but I think that'll change. This is the ugly stage. He ain't gonna look pretty. Look at it. Maybe not. Okay. Sweet. So these are the big beans. Big beans. Big squares. Big things like these. 1, 2, 3, all connected together to make a pretty little sculpture. Now, I'm going to focus on the tiny beans. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4 here, okay? And I'm also going to teach you how to do ears. All right, so here we go. This is an ear tutorial, or how to add something onto our Alebrije. So ears. We want them to be strong enough that they can stand up all by themselves. Even though my guy looks like he has floppy ears, they're quite strong. They're very strong. They stay where they need to be. And that is done with a armature or something stiff inside of your actual Alebrije to give it a skeleton. Like we have bones, we need bones. This is muscle. This, or having something plastic or wire inside, that's bones. We need bones. Okay. So, for my ears, this would be like the length. You want to cut it down to the length, a little bit shorter than the length of the ears that you want. So obviously, these are not my ears. I probably want this in half. And I love a plastic lunch knife because I can just cut these with scissors or wire cutters and they're just fine. Ta-da! Okay. Yes. Perfect. Yep. So, you'll be looking at my picture. They want to go in angles just around the back of the head here or so. And guys, again, I'm sorry to say it, we're going to have to manhandle. You are going to need a knife or an X-Acto knife of some kind. And it sort of X marks the spot. Oh, we're sorry. You're going to have to poke a hole into the paper, making sure the blade goes completely in. You really want a hole for that knife. Make it feel nice and cozy. Okay. Now, as you can see, the hole is just a little bit too big when made with the X-Acto knife, so I need to go in with some hot glue to secure these bad boys into my sculpture. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back, and you can see just how much hot glue I put on there. It is like a fat wad of gum, just to make sure that these sticks are going to stick. In the meantime, I was working on a cute little snout, and that was with the same additive process. And so I just made a small ice cream cone, and I just stuck them onto the circle with tape. So that was not with glue. However, if you have a very, very fragile small piece coming out in the middle of nowhere, like a tail or some wings or ears, you are going to need a skeleton of some type. I am going to start piecing together how I'm going to shape these ears. You know, I'm gonna need about half a paper. And you're gonna cut about the size of a flower petal. So it should look like this, like a big fat triangle or a flower petal. And once you fold that, it should start forming an ear. Now, that's way too big. I don't need that big of ears. That's a little bit more of the shape I'm going for. Now, I'm going to have the spoon or the knife try to be as in the middle or to a side as I can. And I want to tape him down. So, here I go. I need itty bitty piece of tape like that big. And I'm taping the knife to the ear. And right now, I'm just joining it to the head with tape as well. So now it has a skeleton, so it doesn't bend around as much. It's pretty firm. And it has some paper to it as well. Here we go. Pretty cute, right? Now the tape's job is to sort of disguise the fact that there's a knife going through the head. There we are. See that? That is flawless. And now you probably want to cover as much of the tape ear as possible, just to make sure that paper is really reinforced. There's a chubby flower petal here. This time it's going to go on probably this side. All right, guys. And that is where I'm going to leave you off for this week. Next week, there will be tiny little jellies coming out of here. So little leg, little feeties. But I think that's a great place to leave you guys now before you die of boredom. So we will see you next week. Bye-bye, guys.